Hey y'all, and welcome to Sexy Sunday, where we talk all things sex and self-love, and today is going to be a Q&A episode.
Hello, Editing Katie here. I am re-editing this and re-uploading this and just being a lot more picky with what I show and what I don't, because when I uploaded this, it was age restricted and just a lot of things went really weird with it. So anything that I talk about, I will list down below, but you may see some weird, things that I cut out. But just check the description box. And make sure to please comment and like this video to show YouTube that this content is important.
In this episode and in this series, I'm going to be talking about adult topics in detail most of the time, so just be cautious who you're listening to this around. And finally, because of the nature of Sexy Sunday, these videos will more than likely be demonetized, so please be sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and be sure to hit the link in my description to follow me on all other social media platforms. And without further ado, let's get into it. So I know this episode is not my normal episode. I already have makeup on. I just threw this face on. I will have everything that I'm wearing listed down below, as well as a tutorial for a similar look. But I'm gonna be real with you guys. The last month has been fucked, and all of May is going to be fucked. So I just didn't have the time to put together a normal episode, and since the last episode was kind of casual, I wanted this episode to be more researched. I just ran out of time, so instead we're doing a less researched episode and we're just going to do a Q&A. But I do just want to put it out there that through the month of May, I may not stick to my Monday, Friday uploading schedule. I will try to as much as possible, but there may be some weeks where I just can't get a video up in time. I feel like I have to crouch. Okay, that's a little bit better. I know you all are super forgiving of me, so I know I don't even need to do this explanation, but I just feel bad because you guys are so nice to me. Anyways, I asked for questions on Instagram and I'm going to answer them to the best of my abilities. Now, a lot of these questions obviously could have full Sexy Sunday episodes just dedicated to them. So please be sure to let me know what specific topics that maybe I touch on here that you would want a deep dive on later. So let's just get into it for the first question. First question, we're going in hot. What's something you've always wanted to try in the bedroom? I've always wanted to try a full-on BDSM scene, a full scene, you know? I've had sex with BDSM in it, but full laid out, safe words, the whole 9 yards. Okay, next question. My husband wants to try anal, but it's super uncomfortable every time we do. What helps? Patience, lube, and relaxing. Patience. So instead of trying to, I'm gonna assume he has a penis here. Instead of trying to do full penis to anal penetration, try getting different anal toys so that way you can kind of lead up to it, right? We gotta get the introduction and 3 body paragraphs before we can get to the final conclusion paragraph. You know what I mean? No, but for real, you really do have to allow your body to stretch, for lack of a better word. And also, if your body is tensed, obviously your anus is a sphincter, so it's going to tighten the more anxious that you are. So he better be patient with you, one, and if he's being any sorts of pushy, I would maybe have a conversation with him, because obviously that's something that is a lot more for the receiver than it is for the giver. Have him be patient, and I hope that he is. But if it's something you really want to explore, make sure that you have some nice lube and be very liberal with it. Do not get numbing creams. Obviously, if you can't feel how bad it's hurting, that can be dangerous to you. And just try to relax your body as much as you can, breathing in and breathing out and just really being in the moment. But make sure there's lead up beforehand. Make sure you're not just going full P in the B with no lead up or, introductions. How do you introduce sex toys to your partner without it being awkward? I've talked about this once before, but one thing you can do is go toy shopping with your partner. It kind of creates a little moment of mystery and experimentation and excitement. But I think it's also just something, it's like jumping in the lake. You just gotta do it. You just have to do it. You just either have to grab it during sex, maybe keep it under your pillow or whatever, or just during sex, just be like, hey, I'm close, can I grab my toy? It's gonna be awkward for that first little bit, but then, I hope it'll be successful and they will see that toys are nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to be, you know, intimidated by, and will just enhance your sexual experience. So I think there's different ways. You can definitely bring it up beforehand, but it's just something you have to talk to your partner about and just kind of jump in and do it. But going shopping for toys with your partner, I think is the best way to like introduce toys with your partner. I want to talk about this one, how to revive a lost sex drive. I just have no interest in sex anymore. Where did it go? I think the first thing is bring it up to your doctor, because there could be medical or physiological reasons why you have a low libido. Me, I thought that I had a low libido because I had been on birth control from the time I was 16 till the time that I was 25. And then when I got off birth control, lo and behold, I was horny all the time. And like, I'm not talking, I like it to this day, I am still horny all the time. Like it's crazy, and I didn't even know that about myself. So if you're on birth control, that can affect it. If you're on other medications, that can affect it as well. So I think, you know, asking your doctor if there's any side effects to any medications you're taking. But also I think doing a lot of like introspective thinking. A lot of the time your sex drive can be connected to your emotions, you know what I mean? If you're depressed, you'll have a low libido, or a really high one, like one or the other. So I think analyzing how you feel about your partner, how you feel about having sex with your partner, how do you feel about you and your partner's sex lives, and then from that, maybe branching out. There's a really great book, and I'm sure I will talk about it a million times on Sexy Sunday, but it's called Tell Me What You Want by Justin Lehmiller, and he dives into different types of sexual desires and sexual fantasies. So I think reading that it's more of like an experimentation of like research on how many people have these different fantasies, but I think it's really helpful because you hear about all of the different fantasies and how, you know, kind of common they are. So I think that one would be a good one to read, or I listen to it on audiobook. The author is a really great reading voice, goes through all of the different fantasies, so you can maybe, you know, listen to it and maybe find a fantasy or two that you're interested in, and maybe that will spark a, you know, little libido fire under you know where. So this one's a good one to kind of piggyback off of. This one is, how do you build libido, sex drive, confidence, and not feel awkward in bed? 1, practice. You know, practice. 2, I think, you know, obviously being comfortable with your partner. But 3, I think it's letting go of like the ego, letting go of like, do I look okay? Do I smell okay? Am I doing okay? Like, don't think about yourself and like all the different things that they could be thinking about, because I guarantee they're thinking about one thing: having sex with you. So that's what you should be thinking about: them having sex with you and you having sex with them. Focus on the action, focus on having fun, focus on trying to orgasm. And I think once you're able, it takes a lot of practice, but just like really letting go and just being in the moment and not over analyzing the moment can help so much. Because I hope a lot of you guys can relate, is some of the best sex you've had are times where you're just like, fuck it. You're just having fun and you're not caring about what your hair looks like or if your ass looks good in this position, whatever it is. Some of the worst sex that I've had, some of the cringiest sex that I've had is sex where I was hyper self-conscious and hyper like, am I doing this right? Are they enjoying it? Like all of these things which are very normal, but just try to practice just breathing in and out and just living in the moment. Keep redirecting your thoughts to, I'm having fun, this feels good, what are we gonna do next, what position should we do, like sex questions. Keep your mind focused on the sex. First toy you got and favorite toy you got. My first toy I got was just a regular old plastic, like long bullet vibrator. My current favorite toy, let me show you.
Originally was gonna show these, but I can't show them because YouTube hates sexualness. So they'll be linked down below.
But like I said, I'm gonna do a whole Sexy Sunday on toys, hopefully. Hopefully the next Sexy Sunday I put up will be 100% about toys. Explanation on how to choke properly and maybe the result that it should have. So what you wanna do is squeeze, not press. So you don't wanna crush their windpipe. That's not good. You just want to restrict the blood flow so the person being choked gets a little bit, it's almost like, it's a little bit of like lightheadedness. You can still breathe, but it just gives you that little rush of feeling a little bit lightheaded. Okay, next question. What does it mean to have a desire to have sex with multiple people at once? Huge fantasy of mine. Huge fantasy of a lot of people's. It means that you have a fantasy about having multiple sexual partners at once. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that you're into that. It may mean that you're polyamorous, that you know, enjoy multiple partners at once, but it is a very, 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 very common fantasy. I did get asked if I have had a threesome before. I have not. I would not be opposed whatsoever. A lot of y'all know, but Mason and I are ethically non-monogamous, so, you know, I am also into polyamory. So I haven't, but that doesn't mean that I wouldn't. So while we're on that topic, somebody asked ethical non-monogamy and how to communicate that with a partner. So polyamory, ethical non-monogamy, having more than one partner, whatever that means, whether it means introducing a partner that you and your partner are seeing together, whether it means it's separate from your partner, it can mean a million different things. It is such an umbrella, and there's so many different ways that you can be ethically non-monogamous. And that's the first step, is figuring out what you and your partner are comfortable with and what you would like from it. Having that thought, and then just making sure you have a good, stable relationship to start. Because obviously it can be a little hairy, especially if y'all are both new to it. There's a lot of jealousy feelings and exciting feelings, and there's just a lot of feelings going into it. So if you have a really good foundation to, you know, build off of, and if you have the right thought process behind it. So for example, Mason and I are polyamorous, and with our relationship, we can casually see other people. We can't be in relationships with them. We can basically be fuck buddies with them or friends with benefits with them. We also only see one other person at a time, and there's other rules to it. So those are our standards and our guidelines, and we communicate constantly with each other. Ethical non-monogamy is about being upfront and honest with your partner 100% of the time. If you have a problem with something, if something makes you feel icky, you have to communicate that in a good and healthy way. So, you know, just telling them like, hey, it didn't really make me feel good when I heard about this, and whether that means, hey, let's not do this anymore, or hey, you can do this, but just don't tell me about it. Whatever that means, you have to be 100% upfront and honest about your feelings when it comes to exploring polyamory, ethical non-monogamy. There can't be any guessing games, because if you guess wrong, it could cost your relationship. So just be honest, be upfront, hey, this is what I want, this is what I'm comfortable with, this is what I'm not comfortable with, and keep in mind that that may change over time, and you can adjust and make new rules and guidelines, or loosen some rules and guidelines as you go along. Just keep the communication up, and I also think it's really good to have checkpoints. Especially if you're new to it, having checkpoints along the way to see how you're feeling, because if you've never done it before, you don't know how you're gonna feel. So again, there were some things that like I would have never thought I would have been okay with, and now that we are, you know, non-monogamous, I'm totally okay with it. And there's still some things that I would absolutely not be okay with. So as we explore more, we continue adapting and changing our polyamory to fit what fits us. It's a lot of touchy-feely, getting intimate with yourself and understanding your feelings, and then finding healthy ways to communicate those feelings so that no feelings are hurt and everybody gets what they want. Approaching girls as a newly out bi. It's tough. It is so tough. It is. I found out recently that I'm a fucking simp when it comes to girls. When I talk to boys, I have them wrapped around my finger. When I talk to girls, I am a puddle at their feet. It is so hard. To me, the thing that's helped me is like trying to stay out of the like, hey girly, like mindset that we automatically go into. we're so built on just like being friends with other girls, and obviously that's good, but when you want to be more than friends with other girls, I think it just takes building up your confidence just in yourself, and then taking baby steps to be bold. And whether that means, you know, texting a girl first, you know, calling her beautiful, whatever it is, just taking those little flirty steps, like day by day, and just see how it goes. And also be prepared to be rejected. It's just a different mindset that you have to be in, but just practice, again, baby steps to be bold. Just take those little steps that you can. And then somebody said, having sex with women for the first time as a woman. And I think a lot of it is, one, we know what feels good on ourselves. So you can start by just knowing what you like and trying that on the person you're having sex with. Just, you know, the basic stuff. Don't get anything weird yet, not without consent. But also, I think just, you know, having the confidence to be like, hey, what do you like? Just, it's such a like jarring question, but it's a good one to ask. Or having those conversations beforehand. Get spicy in the Snapchat and figure out what the person likes. And just really listening and adapting. And it's, I don't know, it's my first time having sex with a girl was not that long ago, and it was great, but it was cringy because I was just so I was just so like nervous and flustered and weird. But again, going back to, you know, what I said previous, just like take yourself out of it and just be in the moment. Because I think also, even if it's not like technically the best sex, if it's passionate and you're having fun, even if you don't orgasm, that still can be really, really, really great sex. So even if you don't know exactly what to do to get them off, if you're just having fun and in the moment with any partner, not just with girls, but with any partner, that's gonna result in fun sex, no matter who you are. Any advice on period sex? You can lay down a towel, you can have period sex in the shower, but it does feel amazing, and having orgasms on your period help cramps. I have really, really severe cramps, and the only thing that helps it is pamprin and orgasms. My camera overheated. I don't remember what I was saying. But yeah, period sex, it's just blood. If you don't like it, that's fine. But if you and your partner are into it, it's awkward at first, obviously, because there's another fluid added to the mix, but honestly, it's just more self-lubrication. So, you know, it feels a lot, like really good. And again, it really helps with cramps. But if the mess is, you know, something that bugs you, just hop in the shower. Wanting to do sex work, but like setting up an OnlyFans, but your partner has no respect for any sex workers. This is tough, and I think there's a couple things. I think part of it is like, you know, educating about sex work, because sex work has a really, really nasty reputation. I think it's also like possessiveness and jealousy that, you know, somebody else is seeing something that's yours even though you're your own person. And I think also, again, putting your foot down and just going like, hey, this is my body, this is something that I want to do, I'm having fun exploring my sexuality, and I want you to be okay with it, and I want you to be on board with it, but this is something that I'm going to do, so what can I do to make you feel more comfortable with it? I mean, it really just, it depends, but oh, that's something that I got asked, like something that Mason is into that I didn't think I would be into. And it's not that he's like into sex work, but like that is something, like Mason has taught me so much about sex work, like so much. He has really, really opened my eyes. I don't think I would have ever started an OnlyFans if it weren't for, you know, him debunking the myths around sex work for me. Yeah, I think it's education and exposure, and like just bringing it down for him and be like, hey, you don't like sex workers? Cool, stop watching porn. Like it doesn't make sense. So the more you can kind of debunk these, you know, nasty reputations that sex work has, but then also just stand up for yourself and be like, no, this is what I want to do, and I'm gonna do it, and you're not gonna see any of that money. Like, just do it. But again, just talk to them and have conversations like that. Somebody asked 2 questions and then they said, sorry, no older sister to ask these questions. Same, I grew up with 2 older brothers. Shaving without razor burn, the EOS shave cream, bestie. EOS shave cream and men's razors. Go down like with the hair and then away from the hair with a sharp, nice men's razor, and use the EOS shave cream. I am telling you, the EOS shave cream is everything. I will link it down below. It is, you can get it at Walmart for like $5. Men's razors, you're good. You're gonna be good. And then what to clean toys with. I just clean my toys. Right now I have like a big cleaner from a sex shop because my friend works at the sex shop, so she gets it at a really good discount. But for years, I have just used plain old bar soap. Now, I don't know if that's 100% safe for every single toy, but I've also seen other sex workers use like mild dish soap. Okay, so there's 2 more questions that I've gotten a decent amount, so I want to talk on both of them. Okay, and then the next question is there a healthy amount of sex for a couple to have, or is it all subjective? In my opinion, it's all subjective. It depends on your guys' sex drive, but I also think, you know, it's gotta take both sex drives into account. And I think that's the thing that's missing, that makes it unhealthy, is when, you know, one person's sex drive doesn't necessarily match with the other. That's when I think it can get unhealthy. But if you guys are both in a groove where you only have sex, you know, once every couple weeks, or you guys have sex 3 times a week, doesn't matter. Whatever is healthy for you, as long as it is consensual and you're having fun, go for it. And then somebody asked, how do I boost mine and my partner's sex life? We used to sleep together a lot, and I'm lucky to get sex once a fortnight. I love the use of the word fortnight. Like I answered in an earlier question, I think that exploring kinks, and not just kinks, but like different fantasies. I think that, you know, watching porn together, or just watching like, you know, not necessarily porn, but like different like sexy, like romantic movies together, you know, R-rated movies, going to sex shops together, anything to just get that little like spark. Because obviously the longer you're with someone, usually that's how it goes, is you have a lot of sex at first and then it kind of tapers down. Most of the time. Exploring new and fun things, anything to give you guys that little like new spark, I think can help a lot. I think also just communicating to your partner, like, hey, we don't have sex that often. How come? And like, not accusatory, but like, what do you think? Why do you think that is? Is it because we're tired? Is it because of our schedules? Can we switch around our schedules a little bit? Can we set, you know, date nights out? And like, you know, you don't have to have sex every date night, but like it gives you that time that's available. That if, you know, it's a time thing that you can't have sex with your partner because you guys are both tired because of your schedules or whatever, it is a set time that allows you to, if you both want to. I think talking to your partner and getting down to like the root of like why you're not having sex can be a good indication, and then going from there, whether it's adjusting your schedules, whether it's setting date nights, whether it's just getting spicy with things, whatever it may be, going down one of those avenues. Okay, and then the last couple questions that I want to talk about are just about confidence in the bedroom when it comes to your body, and how to be more confident in your body, or how to practice intimacy, or how to, you know, be intimate when you're not comfortable with your body. And I think one, practicing loving your body outside of the bedroom. So there's so many different ways you can do this. Follow people that look like you. Follow people that look like you. Follow people that don't look like you. Unfollow everybody that makes you feel bad from social media. Unfollow them. If they make you feel bad, even if they're a great person, even if they mean well, unfollow them. Just, you don't need to. Maybe just for the time being, unfollow people from social media that make you feel bad. Look at yourself naked and be nice to yourself. Maybe, you know, if you need to take the baby steps, just look at yourself in the mirror and compliment yourself. Even if you don't believe it, even if you're lying to yourself, just keep complimenting yourself, keep hyping yourself up. Basically, talk to yourself like you would a little sister or a best friend. If you wouldn't say it to your little sister, which I know some sisters are mean, so you know what I mean. If you wouldn't say it to your little sister or to a best friend or to somebody that you love and adore and want to protect, don't say it to yourself. So practicing outside of the bedroom can help, but also, you know, I think in the meantime, you can do things like wearing lingerie that's maybe a little bit more modest, wearing like even just fun like PJs that make you feel good, or just, you know, staying under the covers if you're naked, just taking those baby steps to make yourself more comfortable. But constantly work on it. look at yourself naked and compliment yourself and get used to seeing your body. Get used to it. Take pictures of yourself. That's something that's huge because yeah, you may have 10 pictures that you hate how your body looks, but then you'll have that one. You will have that one where you're like, damn, I am banging. And keep in mind, every single person that you see on social media deletes at least 100 pictures for every one photo that they post. Keep that in mind. But doing all of these little like self-love rituals helps confidence. It takes a lot of time, but I promise you are worth putting in the time and effort, and it will pay off. As long as you keep your mind on the positive, it will pay off. I pinky promise. Okay, y'all, that's not every single question I got. If I didn't answer your question, it's maybe because I just need to do more research because I'm not very educated on the topic, or I just didn't get to it, or I'm gonna have a sexy Sunday about it up very, very soon. But thank you all so much for sending in your questions. Thank you all for being so gracious with me while my life's a little chaotic. But that's all I have. Happy sexy Sunday, y'all. I love you all so much. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!